it out. It's your girl Fuller coming to you on our weekly broadcast. If you have not been a visitor to Airing It Out, this is a place to have meaningful conversation with different people who want to make a difference in the world. Today, you guys have been asking, guess what? Brigida hopefully is back with us again. And she's going to share amazing information about building a business. This is a success story that you guys have to hear. So I hope you sit back, grab your pens and your pencils, and let's get started with Miss Brigida. Take the floor.
Oh boy, am I excited. And I feel like, there's a raving fan base out there going, yeah, Brigida.
Yes.
That's just what I envision right
now. Yes, listen, because we have definitely had a lot of our viewers that's asked, when are you going to bring Brigida back? When are you going to bring Brigida back? So you guys, I did what you asked me to do. Here's the lovely Brigida.
Oh boy, am I excited to be here with you. Happy, happy day. And I like to say it is a happy day, not because it's a happy day. It is a happy day, but because you make it so. And it's up to us. Yeah. We're in the season of spring and allergies are upon us. And yet it is our decision, despite all of the congestion that we might have. LaTanya's got it. I got it. I know many other people and kids have it. And it's just, it's part of our lives. And it also shows that there's something beautiful arising in our nature. And that makes me really excited. And that makes me also be able to cope with the eye itching and the nose blowing and all of that good stuff. Yes, it just comes with the season.
All of the great amenities that come with allergy season.
That's right, spring. It's called spring. So it is a beautiful day because not because the sun is shining. It is a beautiful day despite sun shining or raining, because I make it so. And that's the same for you. So as LaTanya said, I want to talk a little bit, and I'm going to share my screen here with you guys. I want to talk a little bit about the science of success and the things that we can do to, and she talked about mastering your business. Now, I came to the US in 2004 from Germany to build a school, to build a Montessori school for my kids. For the sake of my own children, I wanted my children to have a special kind of upbringing. And that's why I built the school. I started in Munich, Germany, and I brought it over to the States. And back then, my husband and I were like, we're going to be here a few years. Then we had our second daughter here, and 19 years now, 19 years, going on 20 years, 19 years later, we are here. We're still here. We've moved to Atlanta 5 years ago. I met LaTanya. We live in the same neighborhood. And I'm very passionate about education. I'm very passionate about helping other people, not just mastering their business, right? The mastering the business, I think, is a side effect or result of our mindset of living our life to the fullest. And before I go into mastering the business, I want to share with you this little diagram on fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And in NLP, of what I teach, we are either living in effect. That means that we come from a frame of mind, life is happening to me, oh, woe is me, I'm not in control. Or we can live at cause. That means that I am the creator of my everyday mindset, of my emotions, of my everyday life, of the results, because I am in control. I'm in control of how I react or respond to other people. I'm not in control of what they do. I mean, LaTanya and I witnessed something last night in our community meeting. We're not in control of that, right? But we are in control of how we respond and what we do with information that we receive. So you are either living in a fixed mindset, and that's a choice, or you are living in a growth mindset, and that's a choice as well. Let's look at this chart and let me decipher it really quick. So if you're living at a fixed mindset, you are looking at challenges and you want to avoid them. You want to avoid challenges because they are a nuisance. But when you're coming from a growth mindset, you actually embrace challenges. Why? Challenges are a great opportunity to learn, right? Challenges are a great way to, once you overcome them, you can celebrate them and say, hey, I've overcome them. And as I said to LaTanya before I started the recording this morning, challenges, I embrace challenges like over, under, around, and through. Whatever it takes, I will do. And that's what I teach my children as well, because challenges are there to be overcome, no matter how.
Yeah, you catch that. Over, around, or through.
Over, under, around, or through.
Okay.
Whatever it takes, I will do.
Make sure you write this down, Airing It Out Nation. It is something that Brigida had taught me. And like this morning, for an example, I did not feel it. Y'all hear how I sound, but I knew that I had to come in and make this happen. So, and there are things in life that only you can do. So you have to make sure that you stand up and be accountable for you.
Right. Yeah, because someone's waiting on you. Someone's relying on you. Someone's waiting on you. Don't let them wait.
Yes.
You have a responsibility, right? So that's challenges. Let's look at obstacles.
All right.
When you're in a fixed mindset, obstacles are obstacles are there for you to give up easily. Oh, this is too hard. This is too challenging. This is too easy. This is too far. This is too close. This is too whatever, fill in the blanks. When you're coming from a growth mindset, obstacles are there to persist in the face of setbacks. That there's a persistence. Life mastery, business mastery comes through consistency and being persistent. I'm going to say that again. Life mastery and business mastery comes through consistency and being persistent. When you know that this is what I'm aiming for, and I'm going to go through it, over it, under, around it, that's what I'm aiming for. And sometimes we get feedback along the way that says, not through here. Well, maybe then over this way, or under that way, or through it this way, or around it the other way. There's always going to be a different avenue. There are many ways that lead to your outcome. Don't give up after the first try. I had a meeting with a sales trainings company yesterday, and we talked about follow-up. You know, when I speak to a large group of people and I ask how many in the room are in sales, and, you know, some people raise their hand and I'm like, that was a trick question. You all are in sales. You're constantly selling your idea, your opinion, whatever you have to someone else. You tell your children they need to eat their broccoli. That's a sales conversation. You tell your kids they need to clean up their room. That's a sales conversation. You know, you ask your husband, your wife, your spouse to come to bed with you. That's a sales conversation. Okay. So there doesn't have to necessarily be money involved in a sales conversation. And too many people give up after the first try. Salesforce.com has given a study, and it's been many, many years now that study's been out there, that the average salesperson gives up after the second try, after the second phone call, after the second touch point. But 80% of salespeople actually get a positive result after the 6th or the 7th call or touch point.
Wow.
So yes. So being persistent and being consistent in your message and being persistent in following up is going to get you the results that you want. I am constantly following up with people that are in my network. May I have sold them something or not? I am being consistent in my language. I'm being consistent in my message. I'm being consistent in my kindness. And I'm being also persistent because I know what I have is going to help them.
Right.
Going to help that
Right.
person. Obstacles.
So without the persistence, you never know how many clients or I guess potential clients that you could have if you don't persist because you've given up. That right there was mind blowing because I never thought 6 times. I never thought that. I would have never gave it that number because I too, I can be persistent, but after the 3rd time, I'm just going to go ahead and tell the truth. I'll just be like, well, maybe that's not my client or maybe that's not my person. But now I have a new insight on that. And I hope everybody in Aaron and our nation, I hope you guys also picked up a new insight on never giving up. Don't quit.
That's right. Yeah. And you see it. And I see t-shirts in the gym, don't quit. But what does that really mean? Right? It is doing whatever it takes to do. And sometimes let's take the example of the gym. Sometimes, I cannot do all of the jumping jacks, but I will then do at least one motion that I can continue to do until I've caught my breath enough to then do the full jumping jack again. The same is you got to pace yourself when you do the best that you can in any given moment with the resources that you have available. That's when you're going to persist through the obstacle or the challenge or whatever you have. All right. So let's move on. Effort. The fixed mindset looks at effort as fruitless or worse. Why even bother with it, right? Why even put effort in? It's not going to be XYZ anyway. Well, yeah, if you say it that way, you're right. It's not ever going to be XYZ because your mindset is clearly not in the space where that can be fruitful. You can have a growth mindset and look at effort as the path to mastery, being persistent, being consistent in what you're doing it over and over and over and over. Going back to the gym analogy, LaTanya, there are people that go to the gym twice and then they're like, but I don't have the waist yet, and I don't have the butt yet, and I don't have this yet, and I don't have that yet. Well, yeah, it takes more than 2 times. It takes being persistent. Know what you want.
Right about that. Yes, persistence.
Okay, criticism. Ooh, my favorite one. I like to call it feedback. The fixed mindset looks at criticism of, it's all negative feedback. I can't deal with negative feedback, so I'm just going to avoid it or ignore it or just cancel it out. The growth mindset invites feedback, invites criticism because there's learning in that. There's so much, there's one of the laws that I teach is there is no failure, only feedback. And when you can see it as feedback, you can actually take the information within that feedback and learn from it.
Yeah. That should go. It's like the fertilizer for your plant, whatever you're growing. That's like the fertilizer.
Yeah. And if we ignore those life lessons, then we're starting to die. Because it's either learning, or let me put learning over here. It's either learning or dying. Right. It's one or the other. So you choose. And then the success of others.
Airing it out, y'all know we want to learn. We want to win. Tell Brigida that's what we came to do, is to win, learn, and grow.
That's right. And it starts with that mindset, right? I want to learn. I want to win. I am learning. I am winning. I am here to pour into myself, to dedicate this time, to take notes, to learn, to review my notes, and then to implement it in my life, in my business, in my personal life. And then there's the success of others. Ooh, the fixed mindset, feels threatened by others that have success. Right? Yeah. There's envy that plays in that. Ooh, envy's nasty. The growth mindset finds lessons from other people's success and lifts other people up to their success and allows, and especially, you know what, I'm going to talk to women for right now, LaTanya.
Okay.
There's two kinds of women out there. They're the female boss ladies that are like, I support you. Come stand on my shoulders. I lift you up. I lift you high. And then there's the other group of women that are like, oh, let me use your shoulders to push you down because I need to be lifted up so you can see me and look at me and look at my social media and look at this and look at that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about offer your shoulders for other people, for other women to stand on and lift them up, because when you lift them up, you're already there too.
Right.
So look at the fixed mindset and growth mind versus growth mindset, and take inventory of where you are right now, and take in and give clear, specific goals of where you want to be in your higher achievements. Or do you want to stay stagnant? It's that or that, right? It's either staying stagnant or aiming for higher achievements. You can't have both. So you gotta make a choice.
Yes, they can't live in the same house together. It's gonna be one gonna rule, or the other one is not. You're right about that, Brigida.
Yeah. So then let me give you the 6 steps to mastering your business, right? People all say,
I said, I told him, all right, let's write this down, you guys. This is good information. And then I want to say to Brigida, we are so grateful you would share this information. And I want you guys to know that this is a wealth of knowledge. So please don't take it for granted, because the people that come on, or the guests that come on to airing it out, they really want to see you, themselves, all of us succeed. Everybody wants us to succeed. So I am very appreciative of Brigida. So I know that Airing It Out Nation is appreciative of Brigida, because you asked her to come back. So I know you guys are writing down these things. All right. Sorry, Brigida, I just wanted to step in there and say that.
Oh, no. You're good. You're good. So, and I don't want to share more screens, but I will lead you through the next steps. So, people ask me, so, how do you master life? How do you master business? Or how do you do one or the other? Well, first of all business problems are personal problems, and all personal problems are business problems. Magnus, our little dog, very, very opinionated about that as well. He knows. He's preach it, mom, preach it. So the mastery of business / life, the steps are the same. I'm going to just highlight them for business right now, but you can use the exact same steps for your personal life, right? Because we're holistic beings. We're one gestalt. That means that you cannot, as one of my dear legacy clients, he's an OBGYN, he's a doctor, and he has seen some hardship that women have to go through, stillbirths, baby dying after birth, things like that. And I asked him, I said, how do you deal with that? How do you leave that at the hospital at the end of the day? And he says, I can't. I feel for them. I have a heart. I have a brain. I know what they're going through, although I don't know what they're going through, but I feel for them. I cannot just leave that at the hospital, right? So we're holistic beings. So when something great happens in our personal life, do you think that's going to show up in your business? Heck yes. If something great happens in your business, do you think that energy is going to transfer in your personal life? Absolutely. But here's the crux. When something negative happens in your personal life, or you allow something to really get to you, it's going to bleed over in your business, and vice versa. So be mindful of that, of how much you allow to really affect you, of how much you allow other people's opinion, their social media posts, all of that stuff that's out there to affect you, because you're not in control of that.
The only person who can control is you.
That's right. That's right. So
this goes to what we talked about before too, Brigida, when you were saying you change one modality, you change them all.
When you change one modality, so modalities are either you think, feel, hear, or say something. Okay. So if you have so change one modality, change them all is the law that LaTanya is talking about. Say you are having a crappy thought of, oh, today is raining and it's just going to be, right? So your whole body language with that, you saw my facial body language, your whole body language will lean into that modality of today's a crappy day, right? My shoulders are dropping or droopy. My whole, my vocabulary is going to not be up to par because I told myself today's going to be a crappy day. Now, if you change one modality, it doesn't have to be the thought. It can be the thought. You could catch yourself thinking today's going to be a crappy day, but wait a minute. Didn't Brigida say that it's up to me to make the day a great day? So you can change your thought. Or despite the thought, you could go for a walk with a dog, and you change the modality of just standing there or maybe even slouching in your chair to getting up and getting into motion. And you will see once your body is in motion, your thoughts will start to wander and they will start to change. So when you change one modality, the others will follow, and now it's a cognitive choice. Because now you know how it works, you can choose to stay exactly where you're at. That is a choice. So no one can say, I didn't get anything done today because I was in a crappy mood. Yeah, that's no one's else. That's not on anyone else but on yourself.
Yes.
So the question then is, what else can you do? Can you go out and go for a walk? Or can you go to the gym for a few minutes? Or can you listen to your favorite song that will get you in a totally different mood?
Yeah,
right?
Like this morning when I woke up, I will not lie to you, because like I said, I didn't really sleep well. But when I got up, I was like, okay, you can't feel like this all day. And Brigida didn't know this, but that's what I did. I listened to my favorite songs. I played a playlist. And before you know it, I was getting ready to come on and be with Brigida. So that is very true. You can change it. I am a living testimony.
That's right. And did you know, most people don't know this, but did you know that before Tony Robbins goes on stage, he is traveling with, one of those little trampolines? He's jumping up and down on a trampoline before he goes on stage to get his own energy up so high that there's enough energy for everyone in the room.
I love it.
He's got a little trampoline backstage.
I love Tony Robbins. I love that. I never thought about that, because he is hype, you guys. If you don't know who Tony Robinson is, he's a highly motivated speaker that when he comes on the stage, he just takes presence. That makes sense because of the trampoline. He's built himself up to that. I never knew that, Brigida. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. I've shared stages with him, and I've seen his trampoline backstage, and I've seen him jump on it. I wanted to say something else. Oh, did you know, and LaTanya, this is just a quick side note, did you also know that Tony Robbins is an NLP Grandmaster?
No.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been following Tony Robbins for years when what I do was just a mere thought to me. So, side note, just let you know I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Totally. And what he is a master at is pattern interrupts, because he goes in and he interrupts someone's negative pattern, sometimes by his very, offensive language, or by a question that really gets someone, I can't believe he just asked me that, right? So that's a verbal, an auditory pattern interrupt. So anyway, let's go back to mastering your business. Man, we could talk all day, couldn't we?
You guys out there, y'all know Me and Brigida, we love talking. We see each other in the neighborhood and we will talk. So this woman is phenomenal. Please, anytime she's a guest airing it out, make sure you join. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you are sharing, because there are people out here day by day that they have no clue of which way to go. Some of them might have lost their families, they've lost friends. So they need to hear voices like Brigida, voices like myself. So you guys, be a blessing, share.
Yeah, I love that. And I will share this, of course, with all of my followers too. All right. So step number one, we're going to have 6 steps. So write these down. Step number 1, know your outcome. Know what you're aiming for and be super specific. If you have a financial goal for the end of the year, write out, I am making, not I want to or I will be, but I am, that is a declaration. I am making X amount by December 31st, 2022. Or I am releasing X amount of pounds by, and then fill in the date. When you put a date stamp on it and you are clear what is it that you are aiming for, you can actually, you're already programming your brain to get there. But if you're so super vague, your brain is like, I can't, there's no clay for me to do anything with that. I can't form anything out of that. It's just wobbly stuff, or it's just hot air, right? So be specific and put a date stamp on it. So know your outcome. That's step number 1. Step number 2, take, I want you to write this in all capital letters, this next word that I'm saying, take intentional action, not just any action, but intentional action. Be very clear. What do you have to do today, this week, next month, in order to get to your outcome that you have just put a date stamp on and said, I am making X amount of dollars by this date, or I'm releasing X amount of pounds by this date, or I'm blessing X amount of people with my services by this date, or whatever it is. Take intentional action and write them down. I have my clients write down their intentional actions every day and put them in their calendar.
Wow.
When you're clear, this is my calendar for today. When you are clear what is happening in your calendar, what in your day, then you can take intentional action. I am very clear, like right now, I am on a call with Latanya and Brigida. Then I have a call with Jennifer. Then I make a payment. That all of that is in my calendar, that I know I need to take these action steps in order to get to my outcome. Okay. So I live on my calendar because it keeps me accountable. And at the end of the day, I can look at my calendar and go, yep, did that. And tomorrow's a new day.
You guys, that's a great idea. And I'm going to as well take this and apply it to me. I have been, I will not lie to you guys. I know I'm transparent to you because I want you to know that anything that I bring to you, I too try. I will try this calendar because I find myself like, did you do that? And I don't want to be that way. I want to be accountable. So thank you, Brigida. I would definitely do the calendar. I would definitely.
Yeah, because what else happens when you go, oh, did I do that? Or did I do this? Well, now you're all relying on this up here. And that's where overwhelm and anxiety happens. You don't want to get into that state. When you know it's written down on your calendar, all you got to do is look at it. Yeah. Right. It allows, I call this the washing machine with our thoughts, right? Sometimes we wake up at 3 o'clock at night and that thing is spinning.
Yes.
So get it out of here and write it down in your calendar and give it a specific time so you can then take immediate action on it, intentional action.
Thank you for sharing it. Thank you.
Number 3, be aware of your emotions and your internal state. Your state of mind, your frame of mind. Which mindset are you in? If you're in a crappy mindset, change one modality, change them all. If you feel sad and you want to empower someone else, you got to switch the emotion before you talk to that person. Right? Just like Tony Robbins. He's not going to go on stage feeling all drained and mushy. He's going to give his best energy ever to the people that he's inspiring. So be aware of your mental state and your emotions. That's number 3. Number 4, have behavioral flexibility. Have behavioral flexibility. Now, this is an advanced strategy that I teach, and LaTanya is very, very aware of it. But when you are realizing that you're in a situation, rather than pounding your head against the wall over and over again, take a step back and evaluate the situation. Say, okay, if this is not working, and I'm going to try it over and over again. You know, Albert Einstein saying trying to do the same things over and over again and expecting a different result is the clear definition of insanity. So taking a step back and looking at, okay, if this is not working, maybe this is working, or maybe that is working, or maybe that is working. So evaluate. So with that, you have behavioral flexibility. You're checking in with your own behavior. No, but it's got to be done this way. No, it doesn't.
Yes.
And if you say, yeah, it has, then okay, let's look at history. Let's look at the past. Where has it served you and where has it not served you? So have behavioral flexibility. That's number 4. Number 5, operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. Notice, I'm not saying perfectionism.
Okay.
Because aiming for perfect will never get you there. Because there's always going to be something in the way, especially at things that you cannot control because they're outside of your control. These people doing that. This is happening to you on the outside. These are things that you cannot control, and they get in the way of your perfectionism. But when you come from a place of a psychological and physiology of excellence, you are doing the very best with the resources that you have. And that's step number 6. Step number 6 is be most resourceful with everything that you have available. Be most resourceful with everything that you have available. There's a great book, and LaTanya knows this book. I've shared it several times, by Don Miguel Ruiz, R-U-I-Z is his last name. It's called The 4 Agreements. And one of the 4 agreements states, always do your best. And that's basically what that is. Have a physiology and a psychology of excellence.
Do your best. Yes.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? Your best today is not going to equal your best tomorrow or your best yesterday, because the circumstances are different. The weather's different. The pollen count's different. So your best today is not equal to any other day. It is what is right now. So do the very best that you can with the resources available.
Yes. That's important, you guys. Please. I'll share this a transparency again. When me and Brigida first met, she can testify to this. Attest to this. I would beat up on me. When in actuality, I did the best that I could do with what I had. But I would sit there so long trying to figure out why I didn't do what I did the last time. That's time and energy that I've wasted. And Brigida explained that to me, that you did what you could do with your resources at that time. That doesn't mean that that's going to show up every day. So we got to get out of our heads thinking that's it. There's no more. And I thank Brigida for that, because if any of you know me, you know I'm that perfection. I want it every time. But that doesn't mean that I don't get it every time. That's just the perfection for that moment. So that's important that you guys really apply it. I promise you, I'm willing to say that I promise you that it will show you a different outcome if you apply that. And I thank you for that, Brigida, because I would tear me apart.
Yeah, we're our worst critics. We are.
Yes, I would tear me apart because and it just what happened. It was just, you didn't do a bad job. You did a great job. You just did what you had to do in that moment.
Yeah. And, I tell my clients when they're beating themselves up and they're shooting all over themselves and, I should do this and I should be doing that. And this is not working. And I ask them and I said, take a step back and evaluate the way that you're talking to yourself. Would you allow anyone in your family to talk to you like that? Would you allow any of your friends to talk to you like that? And they're like, actually, no, that would not fly with me. Right. And I'm like, okay, but you're doing it to yourself. Interesting. That brings a lot of insights, right? Ooh, if I would not allow anyone else to talk to me that way. Why am I talking to myself like that?
That's very good insight. She already gave y'all another analogy she didn't even give me.
Look, I'll give you one last little nugget, and I'll first say it in German because I'm going to translate it from German. I'm pretty sure there's a similar saying in English. Wenn's nicht geht, geht's anders. Wenn's nicht geht, geht's anders. If it doesn't work, it'll work differently. So that's the behavioral flexibility. Yeah. Yes. If it doesn't work, it's going to work different.
Right.
And there's a piece in that is the persistence and the consistency of our doings. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to get to that well-formed outcome? How bad do you want to get to that money, number on the scale, whatever it is that you desire, people that follow you, whatever it is? How bad do you want it? And for what purpose do you want it?
Yes.
And which intentional actions are you going to take?
And they have to be intentional.
Don't throw spaghettis on the wall and see what sticks. That's not a good strategy.
No, you have to be intentional. You have to be. When I first started airing it out, I think I was so caught up. I know I was so caught up in me that I wasn't intentional. I was doing whatever I thought everybody wanted instead of doing what I was supposed to be doing in that moment. So if it's not intentional, true intention, you don't get the feedback that you get. Like the feedback I get now, I did not get that when I first started. Because I was, like you said, I was throwing spaghetti noodles to see what was going to stick. What did they want? What did my audience want to hear? Instead of just coming in, being intentional. And look at me now. I have a whole YouTube channel. I have great guests like Brigida.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Let me share with you guys. Brigida, I know that you've been before, so we always ask you, give us and leave us with a thought. I'll say a thought that we can carry with us. Not that we can't carry everything that you gave us, because you gave us great nuggets, but give us one personal one today so everybody stays kickstarted.
That's a good question. I would say, here's what I want to leave you with. Take inventory of your emotions, take inventory of your actions, especially when things are not going the way that you want them to go, because there's knowledge in that, there's learning in that, and there's growth in that. That's what I want to leave you with.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. You guys, I'm so ecstatic about this lady. I want you to make sure that you share all of the videos, not just Brigida's, but really Brigida's, because she has a program that is amazing. And I really would love for you guys to reach out. We will put her credentials as we did the last time at the end of the video. So make sure you watch for it and reach out to Brigida. Just reach out yourself. Don't just go by airing it out or our moments that we've spent together with Brigida. I want you to reach out to her and have a personal, like a one-on-one with her. Then you'll see how amazing she is for real. You think she's amazing now, but when you have that one-on-one with her, you would definitely see why I'm just blessed that I have her in my life. And I would love to share Brigida, my great friend and neighbor, with you guys here at Airing It Out. You guys, I want you to go about your days, go about your life, your week, being productive. You should be better today than you were yesterday. I want you to be better this week than you were last week, better this month than last month, and definitely better this year than you were last year. Better is what we go for. Better is what we will achieve. So I thank each and every one of you for coming out and joining us on Airing It Out. Thank you for allowing us into your homes, into your cars, wherever you choose to listen to us here at Airing It Out. Know that I love you, God, even more. Brigida loves you. And we will see you the next time on Airing It Out with Fuller. Be blessed.